Auguste Kekulé had been worrying about how the atoms in benzene are arranged. It was a tough problem because the ratio of carbon and hydrogen atoms was unlike that seen in other hydrocarbon compounds. On a cold night in 1865, he worked on the problem in his room. Unable to find a solution, he turned his chair to the fire and dozed. He started dreaming of atoms dancing. Gradually, the atoms arranged themselves in the shape of a snake, and then the snake turned around and bit its own tail, and the image of the snake, tail in its mouth, continued to dance before his eyes. He realized what the dream had been telling him. Benzene molecules are made up of rings of carbon atoms. Understanding these aromatic rings opened up an enormously important new field of chemistry, aromatic chemistry, and a new understanding of chemical bonding. Here's another example. Louis Agassiz was the world's foremost expert in fish species, both current and extinct. He had been trying to understand the structure of a fossil fish for 2 weeks, but couldn't make any progress. Agassiz's wife wrote about how the solution came to him over the course of 3 nights in dreams. For 2 weeks, he'd been trying to decipher the somewhat obscure impression of a fossil fish on a stone slab that he had preserved. Weary and perplexed, he put his work aside at last and tried to dismiss it from his mind. He woke one night convinced that while asleep, he had seen his fish with all the missing features perfectly restored. But when he tried to hold on to the image from the dream, it escaped him. He went to work early in the morning, thinking that when seeing the impression again, he would see something in it which would remind him of the vision he'd seen in his dream. In vain, the blurred record was as blank as ever. The next night, he saw the fish again, but with no more satisfactory result. When he awoke, it disappeared from his memory, same as before. Hoping that the same experience might be repeated, on the 3rd night, he placed a pencil and paper beside the bed before going to sleep. Towards morning, the fish reappeared in his dream, confusedly at first, but at last, with such distinctness, he had no doubt as to its zoological characteristics. Still half dreaming, in perfect darkness, he traced the characteristics on the sheet of paper beside his bed. And in the morning, he was surprised to see the fossil itself revealed inside his sketched features. He hurried to work, and with his drawing as a guide, succeeded in cutting away the surface of the stone, under which portions of the fish proved to be hidden. When wholly exposed, it corresponded with his dream and his drawing, and he perfectly succeeded in classifying it with ease.